Hi, everybody, and welcome to another exciting comics loving edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. I am delighted and excited and elated on this episode to be talking with comics creator Jerry Bennett. Jerry, thank you for jumping on and joining, and thank you for the Ghostbusters homage that's currently happening behind you as well. Really enjoying that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm a hardcore Ghostbuster fan, and I've collected things here and there. I should have set up. I've got the HasLab Proton Pack, and
Nice.
I should have put that on the other side of me, but it's in another display area.
Totally, totally. So I'm going to go ahead and hold this book up. That's what it looks like when it's not disappearing. And look, oh, it's magic. And you have Glamorella's daughter featured behind you as well. Um,
Absolutely.
so the story of how I discovered this book is that I was walking around Heroes Con, just roaming around aimlessly. I walked by this table and I noticed this book, Res Detectives.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's not the book. That's a sticker of the book. And I
Right.
thought, well, I've seen that before. I need to talk to these people. And some of the folks from Literati Press, I think I'm getting that right, Literati, um, mentioned Glamorella's daughter and a few other titles. And so I had to take this and read it and enjoy it. So thank you for this work, first of all. Curious about how this has come to be as far as becoming a reality.
So yeah, it's been a huge labor of love, and it actually started in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should actually say it went even further back. I've had this concept in my head. I had a concept about a superhero and her daughter, and the focus was going to be always going to be on the daughter. And at the time, the idea was that the daughter was always going to be a talented individual, and completely misunderstood by her mother. And they just never quite figured out, like the superhero mom never understood the talents that the daughter had, and so that
Mm-hmm.
was always the
Mm-hmm.
focus. And I tried to write it. I wrote tons of copious notes, and I just couldn't quite find the voice that I was looking for. And so I had done several collaborations on short stories with a friend, Charles J. Martin, publisher of
Mm-hmm.
Literati Press. He's an amazing writer, and I love his script writing. And so and he had always said that if there was ever a project I wanted to collaborate with him on, to talk to him. And so I approached him with this idea. I showed him all my sketches, all my notes, as unorganized as they were,
Mm-hmm.
and he really enjoyed the concept and premise. And so he ran away with it, and wrote some amazing scripts right off the bat. And in fact, as he was writing, I think he ended up going back and revising once he realized that the main character, the daughter, would be on the autism spectrum. And the reason for that is that he has a son who's on the spectrum, and felt like that would be a really great strong focus for allowing challenge in the relationship, and seeing how that develops and how that is worked into the story. And so and I thought it was a brilliant idea, and it made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have thought of it, and so I was elated that he went forward with that idea. And Comet, the main character, turned out to be such a fantastic, unique character. And the idea of her mother, the superhero Glamorella, being this uh, celebrity focused superhero who was all over social media,
Mm-hmm.
and in this world there's no other superheroes. She's the only one, basically. And so of course she's going to have all this celebrity behind her, but yeah, still having true motives in wanting to involve her daughter, in her life, and just wanting to be a part of her life in that way. And so it's turned out to be a really amazing thing. And I always people always ask me about why they were black like
Hmm.
coming from a white man. Um, uh, I always wanted to be a part of a positive conversation in bringing in new, diverse characters, and this was before like around 2020 is when we really started realizing the need for elevating those voices.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we really had a hard time in deciding what we wanted to do going forward, because we uh, by 2019 we had two issues fully done, and we realized, we're two white guys creating black characters. Is this right? What should we
Hmm.
do?
Hmm.
And we really loved the story, and we wanted to continue proceeding with it, but we wanted to do it in a way that honors black characters, and honors the authenticity of those characters as well. We felt like we really captured authenticity of the autism voice, especially with his, him having a son on the spectrum, and and if you knew his son, you really saw a lot of Comet in his son. So it's
Nice.
fascinating to see that, and I love it. And So we talked with several black creators that we are good friends with, and who have loved the story. And we asked them if they would come forward as authenticity editors and readers,
Hmm.
and they agreed to participate. And so we've had Brandy Williams as one who came on early on, and then we have another friend who is a writer director, a filmmaker. He had recently won Dead Center, which is a local film festival here. He had
Uh,
won for a film called You People, and it's actually currently streaming on the Peacock channel right now, so you could actually watch that on Peacock streaming. It's a fantastic movie. But LaRon Chapman is another friend who came aboard to be our authenticity editor, and so he's been here since then. So in fact, he even did the bonus story on the trade in the
oh,
back.
love it.
There was a side character, Isaac, that he did a bonus story that's exclusive to that trade, and so we were just flabbergasted at the beautiful script that he had given us for that. And so yeah, I had total fun drawing that one as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask about Brandy Williams's role in the book, and I love that you took that additional step. The two of you reached out and invited critical friends. There's this history in comics, and there's scholarship on this. People can check out if they're interested. But either heroes who are black who happen to be sort of reformed villains, or there's sort of that criminal aspect that comes in, and it's really troubling. And at the same time, there's a history both for characters who are not white and characters who are neurodivergent to either not be represented at all or to be represented in negative ways. I think about like Legion, for example, in Marvel Comics. Fascinating character, but someone who's neurodivergent, whose neurodivergence becomes sort of the central problem. So I love that. Um, for one thing, you made these additional steps to help the book be authentic, and then also that you're bringing together these diverse perspectives in a character who's a positive central character as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that it's just a natural part of their life. I mean, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
people who are neurodivergent, people who are black, I mean, that's just their life. It's not a central focus. It is their life. It is just who they are. And we wanted just that to be a part of their lifestyle, and part of the adventures that they have to delve into, they have to deal with. And
Hmm. Hmm.
sure, there's issues that might arise because of that, but in our stories we wanted that just to be a natural part of the background of the story. Just wanted to be seamless, and not a focus, not a negative focus, not a positive focus, but just part of the story. It's
Hmm.
you know uh, there's lots of characters, and every character has a personality, and lots of different personalities represented, but we don't necessarily make those a focus of the story. We don't make that the story. That's
Mhm.
just part of what makes the story great, and so we wanted to allow that to be what makes the story great.
Yeah, yeah. But I love the idea of sort of the child of the superhero. I love the take on the superhero story because superheroes have been around for a while, but it's interesting to see sort of a different take or a creative approach that hasn't been done quite as much. And the other thing that I'll mention is that even in the credits, you all take an interesting turn from the typical way that comics are done, which is that very often the person who writes the script is listed first. And so I love that you all played with that and that you were listed as concept creator, story creator, and artist. And then Charles is second there. Not that it really necessarily matters, but it's just interesting to see that because the artist typically doesn't get that first billing sort of role.
Charles is a completely humble individual, and he wanted to make sure that I was recognized as a co-creator. He knows that the concept originally came from me, and this wasn't even a vanity thing that I wanted to happen. I didn't even care. I was already ready to put Charles at the top of that. I had no problem with that, but he insisted that to make that a point in the story. And so like and there's I there you're right. That is a rare thing. I've seen it happen, but not like this. And so I was very appreciative that he was willing to recognize my contribution in that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm curious as an artist, a little bit of the process that you go through as well. How did these pages come to be, and what is that like? Are you a digital creator? Are you paper and materials that way, or are you kind of a blend of both?
I am a huge fan of pen and ink, but
Hmm.
with comics particularly, I know that time is of the essence, and so the digital medium has allowed me to be more streamlined and and a lot faster, at least to an extent. It allows me to make corrections a lot easier, a lot quicker, and less noticeable. Whenever we do a proofreading and catch things that need to be revised. Like there was one where I had there was a station where a rail car was going to come through, and one panel I had put the station on the wrong side of the track while I was on the other side of the track for the rest of the pages, and
Hmm.
so I was able to easily, make that change digitally. And so the digital medium is mainly what I use for comics. And so we've had an interesting process with this one. Actually, it's something I've never really been involved with as far as creating a story from the ground up like this. We've had a lot of real fun brain trust sessions where we just put out some poster boards. In fact, during this time, it was like in 2018 when we started laying out the groundwork, the histories behind the characters, their personalities, their traits, their look. I was an art resident at there's a retro hotel in downtown Oklahoma City called the Skirvin Hilton. It's a historic building, beautiful building. And our Paseo Arts District collaborates with them on creating an art space for an artist to come in and set up gallery space and a studio where people can come in and participate in the art as well. And so I got to do that and share my love of comic art with the community and have lots of fun things for kids and adults to participate in and learning the process of drawing comics specifically. And so while we were there, we would have these brainstorm sessions, laying out big sheets of poster board and just start drawing character ideas and then
Hmm.
just writing out personality traits. In fact, uh, Charles's wife and my wife, the four of us, we were all actually together collaborating on this, and it was such fun. And so it was a very unique experience, and one I just treasure to this day. I still have the poster boards that I have displayed in another room. It was super fun. So yeah, we've had a really great time with this process, and so yeah.
Love it, love it. Now there was a recent Kickstarter, so the story continues of Glamorella's daughter. Is this right?
Yes, and so the trade you have collects the first four issues,
Hmm.
and we've moved on to what we call season two. Season two starts with issue 5, and issue 5 has them in the realm where Glamorella originally came from. It's a whole other dimension, and so we had finished that one, had a Kickstarter for it that was successful, and now we distribute out into comic book shops all over the nation. And now we are actually currently kickstarting issue 6. We
Nice.
have, I think, less than 20 days left on it, and we are halfway funded. So I feel like we've been moving steadily along in our Kickstarter. I had a chance to, while I was working on issue 6, which is completely done. I did this particular piece of all. It was a what it represents is a painting in the castle for Glamorella's father, who we
Uh-huh.
who we meet in this new season.
Nice, nice.
And he is the king. He's called the Poet King. And so he is guiding them through the castle and takes them to this hallway of paintings. And this is one of the paintings where he looks like a heroic, warrior. And the panel description was very simple. Said, the king looking heroic, battling a bunch of beasts. And
Uh-huh.
it just sprung like this crazy imagination to me. And so I went nuts with it. And so this is actually just one small image in one panel of a page. But I loved it so much, and so did Charles. We all decided that we wanted to like make this a thing, and so we have it as it's going to be a fold-in poster that we will include with the comic in this Kickstarter if we reach a stretch goal. And so we're really excited about where we are with the Kickstarter and with the comic now. So
Love it, love it. I will, since there's a Kickstarter in active process, I will drop this a bit sooner and call it something like Glamorella's Daughter Edition or Comet Edition or something like that.
I love
So
it.
yeah, so I'll make sure to do that.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
yeah, absolutely. I typically like to ask about web spaces, places where people can connect to follow along with the book as it progresses and other creative works that you're doing. So, anything like that that you'd like to share as far as the social medias, the websites, all of those things.
Absolutely. So I think I do almost all the social media. I uh I try to be active in all of them, but my most active is probably Instagram.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
artist Jerry Bennett at Instagram, but I do have Facebook, which basically is all my Instagram stuff sent to Facebook.
Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
a TikTok that I'm actually getting back into, trying to be more active in it. In fact, what I want to do with it is make it a space where people can ask questions about the process of making comics and
Love it.
storytelling. And so my TikTok is also artist Jerry Bennett. And if people want to, people who watch the program want to ask questions, feel free to message me on Instagram or TikTok, and I'll gladly like create a TikTok and talk about that question that they might have. And so Instagram recently started Threads.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm on Threads as artist Jerry Bennett. I am on Blue Sky and X. And
Nice,
I'm
nice.
on X, I'm Comic Book Jerry, and on Blue Sky, I'm artist Jerry Bennett. I'm trying to keep artist Jerry Bennett the main name, and so if you look up artist Jerry Bennett, you'll likely find me on a social media with that name. So
I'm just fascinated with the way I'm now negotiating my identity since I was on Twitter, but now I'm on X, and
yeah.
it might be the edgiest thing that I've done. I don't know. I might have to get like a tattoo of a Care Bear or something to help me embrace this new role.
Oh
Anyway,
man, having a Care Bear with like a book. Is there a Care Bear with a book on his chest?
I don't know, but there should be. There
There
should
should
be.
be. We need to make
Yeah,
that happen.
that's right. That's right.
I
I
will
love
draw
it.
that. That would be amazing.
Care Bear share literacy. I
Care
like
Bear share literacy. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah. Right now, whoever created the Care Bears is going, those people are talking about my stuff. So yeah.
We
Um,
should receive a summons at any day.
that's right. That's right. Well, glad to talk with you. Did I miss anything in the interview that you want to make sure to mention about Glamorella's daughter, Literati, or anything else that you'd like
Uh,
to throw out there?
oh, I'm excited that book one volume trade is doing so well because you can find it at your local bookstores.
Mhm.
We're super excited. You can actually request it at your library. Your local library can order it and have it part of their library. And we're so stoked to see libraries all over the world carrying Glamorella. We just recently discovered that libraries in New Zealand and Australia carry Glamorella's daughter, and so I mean,
Nice.
it's a humbling experience to know that it's out there in such a wide space, you know.
Hmm,
So
hmm.
yeah, so if you're interested in reading Glamorella the trade, you can actually right now with that Kickstarter, you can catch up on all the previous issues. You can buy them as separate comic book issues, or you can get the trade and get the newest issues to continue the story with. So there's a lot of ways to access Glamorella, but the Kickstarter we're definitely focusing on right now.
Fantastic, fantastic. Great for classroom libraries, school libraries, public libraries, personal libraries, all the libraries,
All the
all the places.
libraries,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And a beautiful comic work. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for putting it out in the world, and thank you for saying yes and talking with me for a few minutes today.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me share with you.